Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Translating? You're translating?
I'll try to.
So Hare Krishna, welcome to the second part of the seminar.
Dobrodošli na drugi dio seminara.
I know it's not easy to go to sit for such a long time.
Znam da nije lako sjediti tako dugo.
Despite having such a wonderful weather outside.
Unatoč tome što je vani tako prekrasno vrijeme.
You could do so many other things.
Mogli biste raditi toliko drugih stvari.
Because you are great souls, this is why you come to listen to Krishna Katha.
Ali pošto ste uzvišene duše, došli ste slušati Krishna Katha.
Therefore I pay my humble and respectful obeisances unto all of you.
Stoga vam odajem moje ponizno poštovanje svima vama.
So yesterday we talked a little bit about the subduing Kaliya, one of Lord Krishna's many pastimes.
Jučer smo malo pričali o pokoravanju Kalije, jednoj od mnogih Krišninih zabava.
And today we will talk a little bit about Lord Krishna's eternal identity as Swayam Rupa.
A danas ćemo govoriti malo o Krišninom vječnom identitetu Swayam Rupe.
Although he possesses innumerable incarnations and expansions,
iako on posjeduje neograničene inkarnacije i ekspanzije,
and some of them are equal to Lord Krishna in all respects,
a neke od njih su u svakom pogledu jednake gospodinu Krišni,
but still not entirely.
Ali ipak ne u potpunosti.
Because Lord Krishna, he possesses additional qualities which none other incarnation of Krishna possesses.
Jer gospodin Krišna posjeduje dodatne osobine koje ne posjeduje nijedna druga inkarnacija Krišne.
Because he is the origin of all incarnations.
Jer on je izvor svih inkarnacija.
So we will talk a little bit about this today.
Danas ćemo malo pričati o tome.
I have enough volume. Is it enough volume?
Jesam li dovoljno glasan? Čujete li?
So first I would like to quote from one verse from the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam.
Želio bih započeti citirajući jedan stih iz prvog pjevanja Srimad Bhagavatama.
Avatara sankiya hari satpanide dvijaha yatha vidasya kulya sarasasyu sahasrashaha. Translation. The incarnations of the Lord are innumerable.
Inkarnacije gospodina su nebrojene.
Like rivulets flowing from inexhaustible sources of water.
Poput valova koji dolaze iz neiscrpnog izvora vode.
So like I mentioned at the beginning, the innumerable incarnations of the Lord.
Na početku sam spomenuo neograničene, bezbrojne inkarnacije gospodina.
They are constantly manifested throughout the again innumerable universes.
One se neprestano pojavljuju kroz neograničene svemire.
Again, difficult for our mind to comprehend something innumerable.
To je malo je nezgodno za naše umove uhvatiti nešto što je bezbrojno.
For us it is innumerable.
Za nas je bezbrojno.
Not for the Lord.
Ali ne za Gospodina.
Because He possesses inexhaustible energies.
Jer On posjeduje neiscrpne energije.
And they are also eternally expanding.
I one se također vječno ekspandiraju.
Again, difficult to comprehend for our mind. How can something unlimitedly expand?
I opet je to našem umu teško uhvatiti. Kako se nešto može beskrajno ekspandirati?
We can only understand these calculations and figures with spiritual mathematics, otherwise it is impossible to understand.
Ove brojke i izračune možemo razumjeti samo duhovnom inteligencijom, inače je nemoguće.
1 plus 1 equals 1, 1 minus 1 equals 1, 1 by 1 multiplied by 1 equals 1. That's spiritual mathematics.
1 plus 1 jednako je 1, 1 minus 1 jednako je 1, 1 puta 1 jednako je 1. To je duhovna matematika.
Everything is complete and perfect.
Sve je potpuno, cjelokupno i savršeno.
And yet in the spiritual world there's still something more perfect, most perfect.
A ipak u duhovnom svijetu postoje nešto što je savršenije i najsavršenije.
Perfect means perfect.
Savršeno znači savršeno.
But then still there's something more perfect. How is that possible?
Ali postoje nešto još savršenije. Kako je to moguće?
It's already perfect.
Već je savršeno.
It's still more perfect.
Ali ipak još savršenije.
And then even most perfect.
Ali onda i najsavršenije.
Not easy to understand.
Nije to lako za razumjeti.
Then we have the Vigraha, the Vigraha of the Lord we have.
A onda imamo i Arča Vigrahu Gospodina.
The various deity forms the devotees are worshipping.
Različite oblike božanstava koje bakte obožavaju.
And they're rendering service to.
I služe ih.
And the devotees of Lord Krishna are completely attached, spiritually attached to Lord Krishna's transcendental form.
A bakte Gospodina Krišne su potpuno vezani, duhovno vezani za njegove transcendentalne oblike.
They never desire to worship any other form.
Nikada ne žele obožavati nikakav drugi oblik.
Only that particular form of Lord Krishna.
Samo taj određeni oblik Gospodina Krišne.
That Gopavesha, Natavara, the Venu Kara, that transcendental form of Lord Krishna who is dressed like a cowherd boy.
Taj transcendentalni oblik Gospodina Krišne koji je odjeven kao dječak pastir.
And who's playing on a flute.
I koji svira flautu.
Venu Kara, Venu means flute.
Venu znači flauta.
And Natavara who's dancing in such a wonderful way.
I Natavara koji na prekrasan način pleše.
When Lord Krishna was very small,
kada je Gospodin Krišna bio jako mali,
he once noticed the dancing of the peacocks.
Jednom je primijetio ples pavnova.
Have you seen the peacock dancing?
Jeste li vidjeli pavnove kako plešu?
Not just making the wheel or walking, but actually dancing.
Ne samo da rasprostru lepezu svoga repa ili da hodaju, nego da stvarno plešu.
One particular enchanting feature is when they move their long necks in a particular way.
Jedan očaravajući dio toga je kad svoje duge vratove pomiču na određeni način.
It's very difficult to do.
To je jako teško napraviti.
They bend the head in such a way that nothing else is moving, only the neck.
Savijaju glavu na takav način da se ništa drugo ne miče osim vrata.
This is you can judge how good a Bharatanatyam dancer is.
Po tome možete prosuditi koliko je dobar plesač Bharatanatyam.
How they perfect that particular feature of moving their head in this particular way, like the peacocks do.
Koliko su usavršili taj određeni pokret pomicanja glave poput pavnova.
So as a small boy, Krishna noticed, he saw how the peacocks were dancing and moving the head and neck in that particular way.
Kad je bio dječak, Krishna je primijetio kako pavnovi pomiču vratove na takav određeni način od plešu.
And he immediately wanted to imitate it.
I odmah ih je želio ponašati.
And of course, Krishna, being the cause of all causes, the all-perfect, supreme Lord, he did it even better than the peacocks.
I naravno, pošto je Krishna izvor svih izvora i transcendentalni gospodin, to je uradio bolje nego pavnovi.
But nonetheless, he accepted the peacock as his dancing guru.
Ali kako bilo da bilo, prihvatio je pavna poput svog plesnog guru.
And in order to show his respect, he picked up one of the peacock feathers and placed it in his head.
I da bi mu ukazao poštovanje, podignuo je s tla jedno pavanovo pero i stavio ga sebi na glavu.
So this is also one particular feature when Lord Krishna is dancing. He does exactly the same, moving his neck and head in such an enchanting way like the peacocks do.
I to je jedna stvar vezana za Krishnu i da dok pleše tako miče glavu na očaravajući način poput pavnova.
The devotees of Krishna, they never desire to see any other form.
Krishnini bhakte nikada ne žele vidjeti nikakav drugi oblik.
We know that Ratha Yatra's story when the gopis and the cowherd boys, some of the Rajavasis, met Lord Krishna in Kurukshetra.
Znamo priču s Ratha Yatre kad su Rajavasi i drugi bhakti sreli Krishnu na Kurukšetri.
That form was quite different.
I taj oblik je bio drugačiji.
He was not dressed like a cowherd boy.
Nije bio obučen poput dječaka pastira.
But he was wearing the attire of a king.
Već je nosio odjeću kralja.
He was wearing a turban and a crown.
Nosio je turban i krunu.
He was sitting on a chariot.
Sjedio je na koči.
Beautifully decorated in a very opulent way.
I na prekrasan i bogat način ukrašen koči.
So the Brajavasis, they didn't like that.
Brajavasima se to nije sviđalo.
They could not appreciate.
Nisu to mogli cijeniti.
This is why they wanted to kidnap Krishna.
Zato su htjeli oteti Krishnu.
All the gopis and the cowherd boys, they just took the chariot holding, preventing Lord Krishna to go any further, holding, and they tried to drag the chariot back to Vrindavan.
Sve gopije i pastiri su prepriječili put koči, izgrabili njene konopce i htjeli odvući kočiju s Krishnom natrag u Vrindavan.
And Shrimati Radharani, she spoke one beautiful verse to one of the gopis.
Shrimati Radharani je jednoj od gopija rekla prekrasan stih.
Priya soyam Krishna sahachari kurukshetra militas tataham sa radha dharidam ubayo sangama sukham tathavyanta kenan madura murari panchamajushe maname kalindi purina vipina spriyayati. She spoke that beautiful verse. My dear friend,
izgovorila je taj prekrasan stih. Draga moja prijateljice.
Now I have met my very dear and old friend Krishna.
Sada sam srela svog dragog i starog prijatelja Krishna.
On this field of Kurukshetra.
Na ovom polju Kurukšetre.
It is very pleasant.
I jako je ugodno.
But still I desire to go to the bank of the Yamuna.
A ipak želim ići na obalu Jamune.
Beneath the trees of the forest there.
I biti pod šumskim drvećem tamo.
I wish to hear the sweet sound of Lord Krishna's flute.
Želim čuti slatki zvuk Krishnine flaute.
Playing the fifth note.
Kako svira petu notu.
In that forest of Vrindavan.
U toj šumi Vrindavana.
This is the mood of the inhabitants of Vrindavan.
To je raspoloženje stanovnika Vrindavana.
They cannot appreciate any other form.
Ne mogu cijeniti nijedan drugi oblik.
However, the Lord possesses many transcendental forms.
Kako bilo da bilo, Gospodin posjeduje mnogo transcendentalnih oblika.
It's a transcendental reality.
To je transcendentalna stvarnost.
And he reciprocates with the service attitude of his devotees.
I on uzvraća stav služenja svojih bhakta.
In a particular way.
Na određeni način.
There's also one quite important point to understand, that Lord Krishna's position, eternal position is that he reciprocates.
Jedna važna poanta koju trebamo razumjeti je da je Krišnin vječni položaj da on uzvraća.
In whatever way the devotee approaches Lord Krishna, he reciprocates.
Na koji god da način bhakta pristupi gospodinu Krišni, on uzvraća.
And when the living entity somehow develops the desire to be independent from Krishna,
I kada živo biće nekako razvije želju da bude odvojeno od Krišne,
misusing his freedom of choice,
i da zloupotrebi svoju slobodu izbora.
we talked, in the class I gave in the morning some days ago, we talked about this point.
Prije par dana u jutarnjoj lekciji koju sam dao smo pričali o tome.
The living entity must have freedom of choice.
Živo biće mora da ima prirodu izbora.
That's what distinguishes the material energy from the marginal energy, jiva tattva.
To je razlika između vanjske energije i rubne energije. Jiva tattva.
Otherwise, the living entity would belong to the external energy.
Inače bi živo biće pripadalo vanjskoj energiji.
But because we have that freedom of choice,
ali zbog toga što imamo tu slobodu izbora,
we have the ability to make that conscious decision.
Imamo sposobnost da napravimo donesemo tu svjesnu odluku.
To either surrender to Krishna or not.
Da se ili predamo Krišni ili ne.
So that feature in the Jivatma is very, very important.
Taj aspekt u Jivatmi je jako važan.
And some, as we can imagine, they misuse that freedom of choice.
I kao što smo vidjeli, neki zloupotrebuju slobodu izbora.
Because if they could not misuse it, then what's the point of freedom of choice?
Jer kada je ne bi mogli zloupotrebiti, koja je poanta onda uopće imati slobodu izbora?
And Lord Krishna reciprocates with that as well.
I gospodin Krišna uzvraća i s time.
By creating the entire material world,
stvarajući čitav materijalni svijet,
where the living entity can live out that desire to be independent from Krishna.
Gdje živo biće može proživjeti tu želju da bude odvojeno od Krišne.
So we have to keep this in mind, that Krishna, he reciprocates.
Stoga trebamo imati na umu da Krišna uzvraća.
And sometimes we don't understand how Krishna reciprocates.
A nekada ne razumijemo kako to Krišna uzvraća.
But when we look into the heart of the living entity,
ali kada pogledamo u srce živog bića,
not only in this one particular life,
ne samo u ovom jedinom životu,
then we would perhaps better understand why Krishna reciprocates in a particular way.
Onda možemo bolje razumjeti zašto Krišna uzvraća na određeni način.
Because there's so many things, I'm getting a little distracted, but it's an important point.
Malo skrećem s teme, ali ovo je važna poanta.
So many things are happening in people's life.
Toliko se stvari dešava u ljudskim životima.
And most of them we don't understand why.
A većinu njih ne razumijemo zašto se događaju.
But remember, try to remember that one lifetime, it is like you take the example of a film spool, the 1 hour film spool.
Možemo pokušati razumjeti jedan život poput jedne role filma.
The 1 second consists of 24 frames, 1 second.
Jedna sekunda se sastoji od 24 sličice.
Now imagine, you can calculate 1 hour, how many frames?
Možete izračunati koliko sličica u jednom satu.
Hundreds and thousands of frames.
Stotine i tisuće sličica.
So you take out 1 frame.
Ako izvadite jednu sliku,
what do you understand about the movie?
Što razumijete o filmu?
Nothing.
Ništa.
It's just somebody in some position.
A netko u određenom položaju.
You don't understand anything about the entire movie.
Ne razumijete ništa o čitavom filmu.
This is like looking into someone's life, this one particular life.
To je kao da gledamo u jedan život osobe.
And what do we understand?
Što razumijemo?
About his material existence.
O njegovom materijalnom postojanju.
The entire film.
I čitav film.
But Krishna knows the entire film.
Ali Krishna poznaje čitav film.
And if we keep this in mind, then we will perhaps a little bit better understand the meaning of one particular lifetime and whatever happens in that particular lifetime.
Držimo ovo u umu kad pokušavamo razumjeti jedan čitav život i što se sve desi u tom čitavom životu.
So Lord Krishna reciprocates.
Gospodin Krishna uzvraća.
In a perfect and complete way.
Na potpun i savršen način.
That faith the devotee has.
I bhakta ima tu vjeru.
Whatever Krishna arranges, however he reciprocates with me or someone else, it is perfect and complete.
I što god da Krishna aranžira i kako god da uzvrati meni ili bilo kome drugome, to je potpuno i savršeno.
Perhaps now we don't understand it at all.
Možda sada uopće ne razumijemo.
But later on, the realization will come more and more and more.
Ali poslije doći će spoznaje i još njih.
Bahunam jamanam ante jnanamam prapatite. It is such a fortunate soul who begins to understand how Krishna is reciprocating. He simply surrenders unto Krishna.
Kada ta sretna duša počne razumjeti, ona se predaje Krishna.
Knowing whatever Krishna does, it is simply meant for my benefit and for everyone else's benefit.
Znajući što god da Krishna uradi, sve je namijenjeno mojoj dobrobiti i dobrobiti svih ostalih.
So some of the jivas, eternal living entities, they desire to worship and meditate on a particular form of Krishna.
Neke živa bića imaju želju da meditiraju na određeni oblik Krishna.
This is their freedom of choice.
To je njihova sloboda izbora.
Once in Dwarka, Krishna once sent Garuda and told him,
jednom je u Dvarac i Krishna poslao Garudu i rekao mu,
put a little more close, it's not loud enough, yeah. And he told him, go and call Hanuman to come.
Idi i pozovi Hanumana da dođe.
But we know Hanuman, he's a great devotee of Lord Ramachandra.
Ali znamo da je Hanuman veliki bhakta gospodina Ramachandra.
He's always meditating on Sita Ram.
Uvijek meditira na Situ i Rama.
And he doesn't want to see any other form.
I on ne želi vidjeti nikakav drugi oblik.
So when Garuda came,
i kad je Garuda došao,
now Hanumanji, Lord Krishna is calling you.
Hanumanji, gospodin Krishna te zove.
You didn't want to hear it.
Hanuman nije ni htio ni čuti o tome.
Who's this Krishna?
Ko je taj Krishna?
And he was just chanting Ram, Ram, completely dismissing, ignoring Garudaji.
I same mantrao Ram, Ram, potpuno ignorirajući Garudu.
Ram, totally absorbed in meditating on Sita Ram, Lakshman, and chanting Ram, Ram, Ram.
Ram, 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 potpuno usredotočen na Situ Rama, Lakshmana i na mantra njihovih.
Once Lord Shiva instructed Parvati.
Jednom je Shiva uputio Parvati
about the meaning of Ram.
O značenju Rama.
And he explained the syllable Ra.
I objasnio da je slog Ra.
Anyone who chants Ra,
tko god da kaže Ra,
all the sinful reactions, they leave immediately the body of that person.
Sve grešne reakcije odmah napuste tijelo te osobe.
Fleeing away in fear.
Pobjegnu od straha.
Ra.
Ra.
They all go away.
I svi od
Ra.
Ra.
Gone.
Otišli.
Bye bye. Das vidane. How to say in Serbian?
Doviđenja.
Goodbye.
Zbogom. Zbogom.
Zbogom. Zbogom?
Zbogom.
You would say S in the beginning, Z. Zbogom.
Zbogom.
Zbogom. Bas. Finish. No more.
Gotovo, nema više.
But then there's a danger that because the gate is open, you open the door.
Ali vrata su otvorena, postoji opasnost.
Ra. But then the danger is they might come back.
Ali postoji opasnost da će se vratiti.
Therefore you have to chant Ma.
Stoga morate mantrati Ma.
Because if you chant Ma, that closes the gate.
Jer ako mantrate Ma, to zatvara vrata.
Then they cannot return.
Jer da se ne mogu vratiti.
Even if they do, they cannot enter.
Čak ako se vrate, ne mogu da uđu.
Rama.
Rama.
And Parvati, she was so thrilled by that information.
I Parvati je bila tako uzbuđena tom informacijom.
She was chanting for a long time, Rama, 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 Rama.
Da je dugo vremena matrala Rama, Rama, Rama.
So what could Garuda do?
Što je Garuda mogao da napravi?
He went back to Lord Krishna.
Vratio se gospodinu Krišni.
And he was complaining, you sent me on this particular mission, but he's not even listening.
I žalio se, poslao si me na ovu misiju, ali on nije htio ni da sluša.
Hanuman, he completely dismissed me, and he was chanting Rama, Rama all the time.
I Hanuman me potpuno ignorirao i čitavo vrijeme mantrao Rama, Rama.
So then Lord Krishna instructed Garudaji, you go again, try again.
Onda je gospodin Krišna uputio Garudu, ajde opet i ponovo pokušaj.
Of course Krishna knew there was no, it was meaningless to send him again. Krishna knew.
Krishna je znao da je besmisleno da ga opet pošalje.
But he wanted to demonstrate to Garuda the unmatchable devotion of Lord Hanuman. Of Hanuman to Lord Ramachandra.
Ali htio je pokazati Garudi besprekornu devociju koju je Hanuman imao prema gospodinu Ramachandra.
So he went again.
I ode on ponovo.
My dear Hanumanji, please, Lord Krishna is calling you, please come.
Hanumanji, molim te, gospodin Krišna te zove, molim te dođi.
And again Hanuman completely ignored Garudaji chanting Ram, Ram, Ram.
I opet je Hanuman u potpunosti ignorirao Garudu mantrajući Ram, Ram.
As you know, Garuda is very powerful.
Kao što znate, Garuda je jako moćan.
The oceans, when they just see the shadow of Garuda, they're trembling in fear.
Kad oceani vide Garudinu sjenu, tresu se od straha.
It's so powerful.
On je toliko moćan.
Being the carrier of Lord Vishnu.
Pošto je on nositelj gospodina Višnua.
So Garuda became a little angry.
Garuda se malo naljutio.
What is this? He's ignoring me.
Ko je ovaj tip? Samo me ignorira.
And then again, with a raised voice, he ordered Hanuman.
I onda je podignuo glas i naredio Hanuman.
Lord Krishna is calling you.
Gospodin Krišna te zove.
Please come.
Molim te, dođi.
Then Hanuman, also very powerful,
I onda Hanuman, koji je isto jako moćan,
he couldn't tolerate it any longer.
Onda on to nije mogu više tolerirati.
Who is he disturbing my meditation on Sita, Ram, Lakshman? Ko je
ovaj koji mi smeta u meditaciji na Situ, Ramu i Lakshmana?
So he just took his powerful tail.
Stoga on je uzeo svoj moćni, dohvatio svoj moćni rep.
And he lashed Garuda.
I
lashed him.
Odalamio Garudu.
And Garuda was flying back, tumbling back, all the way back to Dvaraka.
A Garuda je odletio kotrljajući se nazad sve do Dvarake.
Right in front of Krishna.
I aterirao ispred Krishna.
And when Garuda, he shook his head, wanted to see Krishna.
I onda je Garuda stresao glavom i pogledao Krishnu.
But to his great amazement,
ali na njegovo veliko zaprepaštenje,
he didn't see Krishna,
nije vidio Krishnu,
but rather Sita, Ram, Lakshman and Hanuman.
I vidio je Situ, Ramu, Lakshmana I Hanumana.
So then he could understand, he cannot just disturb the meditation of Hanuman on Lord Ramachandra.
I onda je razumio da ne može tek tako uznemiravati Hanumanovu meditaciju na gospodina Ramachandra.
So like this, there are so many different devotees completely dedicated and surrendered to one particular transcendental form of the Lord.
Tako postoji toliko puno bhakta koji su potpuno usredotočeni u meditaciji na određeni oblik gospodina.
There was one famous Goswami.
Postojao jedan poznati Goswami.
Tulsi Das. He was a great devotee of Lord Ramachandra.
Bio je veliki bhakta gospodina Ramachandra.
And he only wanted to see that particular form and no other form.
I htio je vidjeti samo taj oblik I nijedan drugi.
Once he went to Krishna temple.
Jednom je otišao u Krishnin hram.
And he prayed to the deity of Krishna.
I molio se božanstvu Krishne.
Please give up your flute.
Molim te, pusti tu flautu.
And just take a bow and arrow.
I uzmi luk I strele.
So that I can meditate on my dear worshipable Lord Ramachandra.
Tako da meditirati na mog dragog, obožavanog gospodina Ramachandru.
And that happened.
I to se dogodilo.
The deity transformed into Ramachandra.
Božanstvo se preobrazilo u Ramachandru.
That deity is still there.
I to božanstvo je još uvijek tamo.
So they have so much devotion.
Imaju toliko predanosti
to a particular transcendental form of the Lord.
Prema određenom transcendentalnom obliku Gospodina.
And still Chaitanya Mahaprabhu instructed us.
Ali svejedno Gospodin Chaitanya je dao uputstvo
that the worship of the gopis of Vrindavan,
da je obožavanje koje vrše gopije iz Vrindavana,
their particular worship, their devotion,
njihovo obožavanje i njihova predanost,
their surrender,
njihova predaja
to the Lord,
Gospodinu,
is the highest possible form of worship.
Je najviši oblik obožavanja koji postoji.
Ramya Kachit Upasana Raja Varvaginava Kalpita. And he gave that instruction.
On je dao to uputstvo.
And now, in order to understand that instruction,
i sada da bismo mi razumjeli to uputstvo
in a more profound way,
na dublji način,
we have to talk a little more about the different transcendental forms of the Lord.
Trebamo govoriti malo više o različitim transcendentalnim oblicima Gospodina.
The one thing we know,
jednu stvar znamo,
Lord Krishna, he is the cause of all incarnations.
Gospodin Krishna je izvor svih inkarnacija.
Savakarana karanam, in fact, he is the cause of all causes.
U stvari, on je uzrok svih uzroka.
And we know that Lord Krishna is superior to any other incarnation.
I znamo da je Gospodin Krishna iznad svih drugih inkarnacija.
But then you have one particular category.
Ali postoji jedna određena kategorija
of Lord Krishna's transcendental forms,
transcendentalnih oblika Gospodina Krishne,
which is known as a Paravasta.
Koja se zove Paravasta.
Paravasta means that these particular transcendental forms of the Lord,
Paravasta znači da ovaj određeni oblik Gospodina,
they possess all these 6 opulences in full.
U potpunosti posjeduje svih 6 obilja.
All other incarnations only to some degree, to some extent.
Sve druge inkarnacije samo do određene mjere.
But the Paravasa forms of Lord Krishna,
ali Paravasta oblici Gospodina Krishne,
they are known as a Shat Aishvarya Purna.
Oni su poznati kao Shat Aishvarya Purna.
All the 6 opulences of the Lord in full.
Posjeduju svih 6 obilja Gospodina u potpunosti.
Who knows these forms?
Ko poznaje te oblike?
Lord Krishna, of course, is the first one.
Krishna, prvi, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Ramachandra Nrsimhadeva.
Yes. Lord Ramachandra and
Nrsimhadeva.
Nrsimhadeva. So these particular forms, they possess the full power of the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Ovi oblici posjeduju u potpunosti svu moć svevišnje božanske ličnosti.
One disciple of Srila Prabhupada,
jednom prilikom jedan učenik Srila Prabhupada
asked him,
pitao ga,
Srila Prabhupada, is there something Lord Ramachandra cannot do what Krishna is doing?
Ima li nešto što gospodine Ramachandra ne može napraviti, a da Krishna može?
Srila Prabhupada said, no.
Srila Prabhupada rekao ne.
He is the full Supreme Personality. He can do whatever he wants.
On je potpuna svevišnja božanska ličnost i može da napravi što god da hoće.
But he decided to manifest that particular pastime.
Ali on je odlučio prikazati tu određenu zabavu.
That pastime is also eternal.
I ta zabava je također vječna.
Pastime of a ruler, of a king, perfect.
Zabava vladara, kralja, savršena.
And there's so many pure devotees of Lord Ramachandra.
I postoji toliko puno čistih bhakta gospodina Ramachandra.
Similarly, Lord Nrsimhadev, he is also the full Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Slično tomu, gospodin Nrsimhadev je potpuna svevišnja božanska ličnost.
It's just another form of Krishna.
On je samo malo drugačiji oblik Krishna.
It is not a Vaikuntha Murti,
On nije Vaikuntha Murti,
less in power, no.
koji ima manju moć. Ne.
Same Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Ista svevišnja božanska ličnost.
Just another form.
Samo u drugačijem obliku.
Now, Baladev Vidyabhusan, he gives one interesting explanation.
Baladev Vidyabhusan daje jedno zanimljivo objašnjenje.
Though it is said in the Ramayana that the trees and other plants wept when Lord Ramachandra went to the forest in exile.
Iako je u Ramayani rečeno da je drveće bilje plakalo kada je gospodin Ramachandra otišao u izgnanstvo u šumu.
They wept out of sorrow.
Plakali su od tuge
on being separated from Lord Ramachandra.
Zbog odvojenosti od gospodina Ramachandra.
But that only happened at this particular occasion.
Ali to se dogodilo u ovom pojedinom slučaju.
But in Vrindavan,
ali u Vrindavanu,
the trees, they are shedding tears.
Stabla liju suze.
Every day.
Svaki dan.
Whenever Lord Krishna goes away from the forest,
kada god da se Krishna udalji od šume,
returning to Nandagram,
i vrati u Nandagram,
all the trees are shedding tears.
Sva stabla liju suze.
Out of a separation, feeling separated from Lord Krishna.
Osjećajući odvojenost od gospodina Krishna.
There's one beautiful verse in the Srimad Bhagavatam.
Postoji jedan prekrasan stih u Srimad Bhagavatam
in the 10th canto.
U 10. pjevanju.
My dear Krishna,
moj dragi Krishna,
what woman in all the three worlds wouldn't deviate from religious behavior when bewildered by the sweet melody of your flute?
Koja žena u sva tri svijeta ne bi skrenula svojih religioznih principa kada čuje zvuk tvoje flaute?
Your transcendental beauty makes everything auspicious.
Tvoja transcendentalna ljepota sve čini povoljnim.
Indeed, even the cows, the birds, trees, and deer manifest the ecstatic symptom of a bodily hair standing on end.
Čak i krave, ptice, srne pokazuju transcendentalne simptome kad im se koža ježi.
When they behold your transcendental beauty,
kada vide tvoju transcendentalnu ljepotu.
There's also a beautiful description given.
To je također dan prekrasan opis.
When Lord Krishna walks in the forest of Vrindavan,
kada Krishna uđe u šumu Vrindavana,
and all the deers, all the wild animals, immediately they flock to that place.
A sve srne i divlje životinje se odjednom skupe na tom mjestu.
And they are stretching their necks.
I istežu vratove.
Just to behold the beauty of Krishna.
Samo da vide Krishninu ljepotu.
And the birds who are flying in the sky,
a ptice koje lete nebom,
they stop flying.
Prestanu leteti.
They're just like they have these nowadays, how do you call them? These drones.
Kao što danas imaš ove letjelice.
And you can stop them in mid-air, just to, they move like this.
I možeš ih zaustaviti u zraku. Ono, smrzno za jednom mjestu stane.
So the birds like this, they just froze like a drone.
Ptice bi se tako smrznuli u zraku poput ovih letjelica.
And then they gradually descend.
I onda se polako spuštaju.
Just to behold Lord Krishna's transcendental beauty.
Samo da vide transcendentalnu ljepotu gospodina Krishna.
And the animals who normally sing with a sweet voice,
a životinje koje inače pjevaju slatkim glasom,
they become silent immediately.
Odjednom utihnu.
Just by hearing the sweet sound of Lord Krishna's flute.
Samo čuši slatki zvuk Krishnine flaute.
But it had been mentioned that Nrsimhadev, Lord Ramachandra are equal to Lord Krishna.
I Nrsimhadev I Ramachandra su jednaki gospodinu Krishne.
Because they also possess the six opulences in full.
Zato što I oni u potpunosti posjeduju svih šest obilja.
Still Lord Krishna is described as Swayam Bhagavan.
Ali ipak je Krishna opisan kao Swayam Bhagavan.
He is the very source of all other incarnations, all other expansions and incarnations.
On je izvor svih ostalih inkarnacija I ekspanzija.
This is being displayed in the various pastimes of Lord Krishna.
I ovo je pokazano kroz različite zabave gospodina Krišne.
Like now we come to the gatekeepers of Vaikuntha, Jaya and Vijaya.
A sada dolazimo do vratara Vajkunte, Jaje i Vijaje.
The soul taking the bodies of Hiranyakashipu and Ravana.
Duše koji su zauzeli tijela Hiranyakashipu i Ravane.
On being killed by Lord Nrsingadev and Lord Ramachandra.
I kad su ih ubili gospodin Nrsingadev i gospodin Ramachandra.
They attained enjoyment unattainable even by the Devatas.
Dostigli su uživanje koje ne mogu dostići čak ni polubogovi.
However,
kako bilo da bilo,
they did not attain liberation.
Nisu dostigli oslobođenje.
They could not attain liberation.
Nisu mogli dostići oslobođenje.
Although being killed by Lord Nrsingadev and Lord Ramachandra.
Iako su ih ubili gospodin Nrsingadev i gospodin Ramachandra.
On the other hand, when in their next birth,
u drugu ruku kad su bili u sljedećem životu,
like Shishupala,
kao Shishupala,
he was being killed by Lord Krishna.
Njega je ubio gospodin Krishna.
And he attained liberation.
I on je dostigao oslobođenje.
Sayuja, this is also explained, and the Bhagavatam describes Sayuja.
Srimad Bhagavatam također opisuje Sayuju.
Shishupali was such a rascal.
Shishupal je bio takav nitko.
Krishna. Even when he was born,
kad je tek bio rođen,
he took birth.
Kad se rodio,
the first sound which came out was blaspheming Krishna.
Prvi zvuk koji mu izašao iz ustiju bilo je kritiziranje Krišne. Vrijeđanje.
Blaspheming.
Vrijeđanje Krišne.
Criticizing is okay, but blaspheming. Normally, children they just scream something, ma, papa, something.
Uglavnom djeca nešto vište, mama.
He blasphemed Krishna.
Ali on je vrijeđao Krišnu.
And then throughout his entire life, continuously blaspheming Krishna in so many different ways.
I kroz svoj čitav život neprestano je na toliko različitih načina vrijeđao Krišnu.
But when he was killed by Lord Krishna,
ali kada ga je gospodin Krišna ubio,
he attained Sayuja.
Dostigao je Sayuju.
But Baladeva Vidyabhushan, again, he gives a wonderful explanation.
Ali Baladeva Vidyabhushana daje prekrasno objašnjenje.
He says,
on kaže,
Sayuja does not mean merging into the form of the Lord.
Sayuja ne znači stopiti se sa gospodinovim oblikom.
Although it is described like this.
Iako je opisano na takav način.
That the Shishupal, he merged into the effulgence of the Lord.
Da je Shishupala se stopio sa sjajem gospodina.
But he explains this is not a fact.
A on objašnjava da to nije činjenica.
And he gives the etymology, the meaning of the word Sayuja.
I daje, opisuje etimologiju značenje riječi Sayuja.
That means having a very intimate, close connection.
A to znači imati jako blizak, prisan odnos.
Having a close connection with Sayuja.
A imati blizak odnos sa Sayujom.
The Shishupal and Dantavakra,
a Shishupala i Dantavakra,
they apparently merged with Lord Krishna, attained Sayuja Mukti.
Se činilo da su se stopili sa gospodinom Krišnom i dostigli Sayuja Mukti.
Because for these two persons who were factually devotees of the Supreme Lord and even residents of Vaikuntha,
jer ove dvije osobe su u stvari bili sluge gospodina i stanovnici Vajkunte.
The impersonal liberation would be hell for them.
Za njih bi impersonalno oslobođenje bilo poput pakla.
But factually they just returned back to Vaikuntha.
Ali u stvari su se samo vratili natrag na Vajkuntu.
That is confirmed in the 7th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam.
I to je potvrđeno u 7. pjevanju Srimad Bhagavatam.
Jai and Vijay gave up their material bodies.
Jaya i Vijaya su se odrekli svojih materijalnih tijela
to resume their posts
da bi ponovno zauzeli svoje položaje
in their spiritual bodies
u svojim duhovnim tijelima
as the eternal servants of Lord Vishnu.
Kao vječne sluge gospodina Višnua.
So they attained liberation.
Oni su dostigli oslobođenje.
Not before.
Ne prije.
Only when they were killed by Lord Krishna himself.
Samo tek onda kad ih je gospodin Krishna osobno ubio.
So this is one feature of Lord Krishna.
I to je jedna od osobina gospodina Krišne.
Whoever is being annihilated by Lord Krishna immediately attains liberation. No other incarnation can do that.
Koga god da gospodin Krišna uništi, ta osoba odmah dostiže oslobođenje i to ne može učiniti niti jedna druga inkarnacija.
Hiranyakashipu did not accept Nrsimhadev as the Supreme Lord.
Hiranyakashipu nije prihvatio Nrsimhadeva kao svevišnjeg gospodina.
He just thought it was some special, powerful living entity.
A mislio je to tek neko moćno, posebno živo biće.
He was absorbed in Rajagun.
Bio je apsorbiran u Rajagunu.
Therefore he attained a wealth of enjoyment as 10-headed Ravana.
Stoga je dostigao bogatstvo i užitak desetoglavog Ravane.
The Shakti of the Lord's attractiveness
Šakti gospodinove privlačnosti
did not manifest to the fullest degree to cause liberation.
Nije se pojavila u potpunosti da bi uzrokovala oslobođenje.
Seeing and being killed by the Lord,
pošto ga je vidio i ubio gospodin,
while not being aware that he is the Supreme Lord,
ali on nije bio svjestan da je to svevišnji gospodin,
one only attains greater wealth than that of the heavenly planets.
Osoba dobija samo veliko bogatstvo veće od rajskih planeta,
but not liberation.
ali ne oslobođenje.
So we cannot just tell ourselves,
Stoga ne možemo tek reći sami sebi.
I just have to manage being killed by Lord Krishna.
Samo trebam tako izmenadžirati da me Krišna ubije.
Liberation.
I onda oslobođenje.
No, that doesn't work.
To ne funkcionira.
It's also confirmed in the Vedanta Sutra. There's one verse.
Ima jedan stih u Vedanta Sutri u kojem je to potvrđeno.
In the Narayan Tantra, there's another similar verse.
Ima sličan stih u Narayana Tantri.
I quote,
citiram ga.
If the Lord's form is covered,
ako je gospodinov oblik prekriven,
meaning there's not a full, complete understanding,
znači da nemamo cjelokupno, potpuno razumijevanje
of the transcendental nature of that form,
transcendentalne prirode tog oblika
of Lord Krishna,
gospodina Krišne,
one does not attain liberation.
A ta osoba ne dostiže oslobođenje.
Yeah, there's so much more.
Ima toliko još puno toga.
But I feel we should not overdo it.
Ali osjećam da ne bismo trebali da pretjeramo.
And I would like to stop here.
I ovdje bih rado stao.
And again, invite some comments, some questions if you have.
I pozvao vaša pitanja i komentare ako imate kakve.
Either related to what had been discussed,
bilo na temu ovoga o čemu smo raspravljali,
or related to any other topic, any other subject matter.
Ili povezano na bilo kakvu drugu temu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. I want to ask you,
Do we have a mic for the questions? Oh.
Is there any difference between the soul and the spiritual body?
Ima li kakva razlika između duše i duhovnog tijela?
No, it is like you place oil in oil.
To je kao da staviš ulje u ulje.
It is like the soul in the spiritual body.
To je duša u duhovnom tijelu.
Same spiritual nature.
Ista duhovna priroda.
But of course there's a difference.
Ali naravno da postoje neka razlika.
On one hand there's no difference.
U jednu ruku nema razlike.
Same spiritual substance.
Ista duhovna tvar.
But still there's a difference.
Ali i dalje postoji razlika.
The soul is described as a spiritual spark.
Duša je opisana kao duhovna iskra.
And the spiritual body is a form, spiritual form.
A duhovno tijelo je oblik, duhovni oblik.
Like when the spirit soul enters into the material world.
Kao kad duša uđe u materijalni svijet.
The spiritual form is not manifest.
Duhovni oblik se ne pojavljuje.
The soul only remains as a spark, a spiritual spark.
Duša ostane kao duhovna iskra.
Like an atom, spiritual atom.
Kao atom, duhovni atom.
And as we practice devotional service bhakti,
I kako upražnjavamo predano služenje, bhakti,
that spiritual form begins to grow.
Taj duhovni oblik počinje da raste.
Because it is being nourished.
Zato jer vas se hrani.
Spiritually begins to grow.
Duhovno počinje da raste.
And when it's fully grown,
I kada je u potpunosti naraste,
then one becomes qualified to re-enter the spiritual world.
Onda postaješ kvalificiran da uđeš u duhovni svijet.
Yeah. So no difference, but also difference.
Dakle, nema razlike i postoji razlika.
You mentioned Paravasta forms of...
I mentioned what?
Paravasta forms.
Yeah, Paravasta.
And I'm not sure if I missed that, but did we mention Lord Chaitanya? And if we didn't, why he's not one of those forms that are completely manifest the six opulences?
Kaži na hrvatski.
Pričali smo o Paravasta oblicima, inkarnacijama i zašto nije spomenut gospodin Chaitanya?
Because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he is sometimes described as an incarnation.
Chaitanya Mahaprabhu je nekad opisan kao inkarnacija,
but sometimes also not.
Ali nekad također kao i da nije.
Because he is Radha Krishna himself, themselves just combined.
Jer on je kombinacija Rade i Krishna lično.
It's not like an incarnation.
Nije inkarnacija.
Radha Krishna themselves, they combine and appear.
Rada i Krishna lično se spoje i pojave.
So this is why in one sense he is not just an incarnation.
Zato u jednom smislu on nije tek inkarnacija.
Yeah. Now, you can imagine Srimati Radharani's potencies and Lord Krishna himself as the cause of all causes combined.
Možete zamisliti sve moći Srimati Radharani i gospodin Krishna kao uzrok svih uzroka koji se spoje.
Not just another incarnation.
Nije to tek još jedna inkarnacija.
The source of all incarnations.
Izvor svih inkarnacija.
And all Shaktis, energies.
I sve Shakti, sve energije.
They combined and appear.
One se spoje i pojave.
It's a very, very special appearance of the Lord.
To je jako posebna pojava gospodina.
To give the living entity the process how to become liberated.
Da bi dala živim bićima proces kako se osloboditi.
Specifically, Srimati Radharani's mercy, feature of mercy.
Posebno ta osobina milosti Srimati Radharani.
Compassion.
Samilosti.
Is manifested in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
Sve to u Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
That's the most, in that sense, for the living entity, is the most important feature.
I to je najvažnija osobina za živa bića.
He gave that process by which one can attain eternal liberation.
I on je dao taj proces koji možemo dostići vječno oslobođenje.
Return home back to Godhead.
I vratiti se kući natrag Bogu.
He gave that highest possible spiritual knowledge.
I dao je to najuzvišenije duhovno znanje.
Of Radha Krishna, their transcendental pastimes.
O Radi Krišni i njihovim transcendentalnim zabavama.
No other form of the Lord ever delivered that.
Nijedan drugi oblik gospodine nije to donio.
Just speak, you just have to speak. Microphone will come. A little closer, I can.
When you mentioned that devotee always trusts Krishna's arrangement, that something about when you were speaking about Krishna's arrangement, I got a question on my mind: how we can be sure that something is Krishna's arrangement? Pitala sam kad je spominjao da je nešto, da je Bhakta uvek uveren da Krishna aranžira sve dobro i da je svaki Krishna aranžman okej, kako da budemo sigurni da je nešto baš Krishna aranžman?
When you're back home in the spiritual world, then you know it was Krishna's arrangement.
Kada se vratiš kući u duhovni svijet, značiš što je bio Krišnin aranžman.
Or of course, a self-realized soul we can approach.
Ili možemo prići samo spoznatoj duši.
And they are spiritually advanced.
I onima duhovno napredni.
They have more in-depth realization of how Lord Krishna is acting.
Oni imaju dublji uvid i spoznaju to kako Krišna djeluje.
Although there's one verse that not even the greatest learned personalities can fully understand Lord Krishna's plan.
Iako postoji jedan stih koji kaže da čak ni najnaprednije duhovne osobe ne mogu razumjeti Krišnin plan.
But at least these spiritually advanced devotees, they can help us to understand a little bit better Lord Krishna's plans.
Ali barem nam ovi duhovno napredni bhakti mogu pomoći
that we can understand
mogu nam pomoći bolje razumjeti Krišnin plan.
That we can understand a little bit better.
I onda možemo malo bolje razumjeti.
When we talk about Krishna's plan, then we refer to how Lord Krishna is interacting with his devotees.
I kad govorimo o Krišninom planu, govorimo o tome kako Krišna ima interakciju sa svojim bhaktama.
Not when we talk about karmic reactions.
Ne kad govorimo o karmičkim reakcijama.
Or when we talk about the sinful activities of the conditioned souls.
Ili kada pričamo o grešnim reakcijama uvjetovane duše.
And we don't refer to Krishna's plan.
Tada ne govorimo o Krišninom planu.
Someone is acting in a sinful way.
Netko djeluje na grešan način.
Then that is not Krishna's plan.
To onda nije Krišnin plan.
Krishna's plan is not to that people kill innocent animals.
Krišnin plan nije da ljudi ubijaju nedužne životinje.
Or one person is abusing another person. This is not Krishna's plan.
Ili jedna osoba zlostavlja drugu. To nije Krišnin plan.
Like we talked a little bit about this point.
Malo smo pričali o toj poanti.
That a king, for instance, he cannot think everything is Krishna's plan.
Na primjer, kralj ne smije razmišljati da je sve Krišnin plan.
There's a criminal stealing, a thief, he cannot think this is Krishna's plan.
Eno kriminalac, lopov koji krade, on ne može misliti, to je Krišnin plan.
There must be some higher meaning behind why someone is stealing from another one.
Mora postojati više značenje zašto neko krade od drugih.
He has to think in a different way.
On treba razmišljati na drugačiji način.
And he's also the representative of God.
I on je također Božji predstavnik.
King, he's considered to be representative of the Lord.
Kralj se smatra predstavnikom Gospodina.
But he thinks differently.
Ali on drugačije razmišlja.
He just sees he is a thief.
On vidi, lopov.
He's acting improper.
Djeluje nepravilno.
On behalf of the Lord, I have to punish him.
U ime Boga moram ga kazniti.
Otherwise reaction will come in his next life, he has to suffer. He doesn't even know why.
Inače će dobiti reakciju i morati ispaštati u idućem životu, a neće znati ni zašto.
Isn't it sometimes, people, they raise this question.
Nekad ljudi postavljaju ta pitanja.
What's the use of being, these karmic reactions?
Koja je poanta ovih karmičkih reakcija?
If I don't even know what I have done in the past.
Ako ni ne znam što sam napravio u prošlosti.
What kind of punishment is this?
Kakva je to vrsta kazne?
Something like your child does something stupid.
Na primjer, vaše dijete napravi nešto glupo.
You have to punish him a little bit.
Moraš ga malo kazniti.
Maybe what do you do, like pulling the ear?
Možda ga malo povučete za uho.
So he did it.
On je to napravio.
Then you wait for half a year.
Onda čekaš pola godine.
And you just engage in some joyful activities.
I onda uključiš dijete u neke radosne djelatnosti.
And you just walk up to him.
I onda dođeš do djeteta
and pull his ear.
I povučeš ga za uho.
You will be completely bewildered, confused.
Dijete će biti potpuno zbunjeno.
So they bring up this point.
I ljudi često iznose tu poantu.
No, I'm being punished for something I did in my previous life.
Sad sam kažnjen za nešto što sam napravio u prošlom životu.
I have no idea why. What have I done?
I nemam pojma što sam napravio.
Why am I being punished?
Zašto sam kažnjen?
But then we have to bring up the point.
Ali onda moramo naglasiti.
That's the fault of the leaders of society.
To je nedostatak vođa ovog društva.
Because they don't educate people. Hare Krishna. Because they don't educate people in transcendental knowledge.
Jer ne podučavaju ljude transcendentalnom znanju.
You know how the laws of nature are acting.
I kako djeluju zakoni prirode.
If I do something, reactions will come, maybe in the next life.
Ako nešto napravim, doći će reakcija, možda u sljedećem životu.
That's how the brahmanas think. That's how the brahmanas see things.
Tako brahmani vide stvari.
And they educate people.
I oni obrazuju ljude.
They see ultimately everything as Krishna's arrangement.
Oni sve u krajnosti vide kao Krishnin aranžman.
The entire material existence is all Krishna's, we talked before, Krishna's lila.
Čitavo materijalno stvaranje je u stvari Krishnina lila.
Simply to correct the rebellious living entities.
Samo da bi ispravilo buntovna živa bića.
But the kshatriya cannot think like this.
Ali kshatrija ne može razmišljati na takav način.
He has to punish immediately.
On mora odmah kazniti.
So that criminal doesn't have to suffer in the future.
Tako da taj kriminalac ne mora ispaštati u budućnosti.
So we cannot just tell all the time ourselves that it is somehow Krishna's plan, Krishna's arrangement.
Ne možemo mi čitavo vrijeme sebi govoriti o to je Krishnin plan, Krishnin aranžman.
No, we have to approach it. If we think there are some wrongdoings,
ako mislimo da je tu neko nepravilno ponašanje,
something being done in a wrong way,
nešto da se radi na pogrešan način,
there's some injustice,
neka nepravda,
then we have to go to the kshatriyas.
moramo onda ići k kshatrijama.
They will solve the problem.
I oni će riješiti problem.
If we approach the brahmanas,
Ako pričamo brahmanama,
then they might say it is all Krishna's mercy.
oni će kazati, to je sve Krishnina milost.
We will get a different reply.
Dobit ćemo drugačiji odgovor.
When we talk about justice, we have to approach those who carry out justice.
Kada pričamo o pravdi, trebamo da priđemo onima koji provode pravdu.
If we want desire some philosophical view,
ako želimo neki filozofski pogled,
then we go to the brahmanas.
onda idemo brahmanama.
This answers your question?
Da li ovo odgovara na tvoje pitanje?
We need more kshatriyas.
Trebamo više kshatrija.
We always get these brahmanical replies.
Uvijek dobijamo ove brahmanske odgovore.
Which is also that's important.
Što je također jako važno.
But it doesn't necessarily solve the problem.
Ali nije da to nužno riješi problem.
That's the problem.
To je problem.
Problem remains.
Problem ostane.
Therefore we need kshatriyas.
Zbog toga trebamo kshatrije.
To establish law and order.
Da bi utvrdili zakon i red.
In a Krishna conscious society.
U društvu svjesnog Krishne.
Another?
How does this work in a practical way in today's ISKCON? Kako ovo funkcionira na praktičan način u današnjem ISKCON?
Any suggestions?
Bili koji šta dodam?
Some practical ways, some devotees have to take up that service.
Na praktičan način neki bhakti se trebaju prihvatiti te službe.
Looking after law and order.
Paziti na red i zakon.
They should get together.
Trebaju se
they have this kind of nature.
Imaju takvu prirodu.
Everybody should have this nature.
Svaki treba imati ovu prirodu.
Brahmana cannot tolerate injustice.
Brahmana ne može tolerirati nepravdu.
Because they're full of compassion.
Jer su puni samilosti.
But they then approach the kshatriyas.
Ali onda oni priđu k kshatriyama.
Do something about it.
Učinite nešto u vezi ovoga.
And then they carry out.
I onda oni to naprave.
So we need such devotees.
Dakle, trebamo takve bhakti.
Who have that particular nature and desire, understanding, realization that we have to establish justice, law and order.
Koji imaju takvu tendenciju, takvu želju da trebamo uspostaviti red i zakon.
Sometimes you might need the help of, the outside societies, laws.
Nekada ćemo trebati pomoć zakona vanjskog društva.
But we can try as much as possible first to do it within our own society.
Ali možemo pokušati to napraviti koliko god to moguće najprije unutar našeg društva.
To protect our cows,
zaštititi naše krave,
to protect the children,
zaštititi djecu,
the women,
žene,
the brahmane, they all have to be protected.
Svi oni moraju biti zaštićeni.
We cannot tolerate injustice.
Ne možemo tolerirati nepravdu.
If the children are being abused,
ako su djeca zlostavljena,
we should react like fire.
Trebamo reagirati vatreno.
They must be protected.
Moramo biti zaštićeni.
If the women are being abused, mistreated,
ako su žene zlostavljane ili pogrešno tretirane,
we must react like fire.
Moramo reagirati vatreno.
That's our duty.
To je naša dužnost.
Lord Krishna's instruction.
To je instrukcija gospodina Krišne.
Must be protected.
Moraju biti zaštićeni.
And if we don't do this, then we don't follow Krishna's order.
A ako to ne napravimo, onda ne slijedimo Krišninu naredbu.
But we are thinking we are great devotees.
A mislimo da smo veliki bhakti.
This is always our criticism with some of the other religions.
To je uvijek naša kritika od strane drugih religija.
You identify yourself as religious, but you don't even follow the order of your own scripture.
Vi sami za sebe tvrdite da ste religiozni, ali ni ne slijedite uputstva svojih spisa.
So this is Lord Krishna's instruction.
To je instrukcija gospodina Krišne.
They must be protected.
Oni moraju biti zaštićeni.
No injustice.
Bez nepravde.
No abuse.
Bez zlostavljanja.
No mistreatment.
Bez pogrešnog ponašanja prema njima.
If we don't do this, then we cannot claim that we are Vaishnavas.
Ako to ne napravimo, ne možemo tvrditi da smo Vaishnavi.
Great devotees.
Veliki bhakti.
So, practically, in practice, that means some devotees senior devotees, they must step forward.
U praksi to znači da neki bhakte, neki stariji bhakte moraju istupiti korak naprijed.
And take up that service.
I preuzeti tu službu.
Do brainstorming, how can it be practically established?
Napraviti brainstorming, kako se to može praktično primijeniti.
In practice means we have to use our intelligence.
U praksi znači da moramo koristiti vlastitu inteligenciju.
Srila Prabhupada sometimes replied in this way.
Srila Prabhupada bi nekad ovako odgovorio.
Whenever the first question, the word how.
Prvo pitanje je kako.
Sometimes Srila Prabhupada, he didn't go further than how.
Srila Prabhupada ne bi čuo ono iza, nakon.
Just stop the question right there.
Samo bi zaustavio pitanje.
Srila Prabhupada, how? Use your intelligence.
Srila Prabhupada kako? Koristi inteligenciju.
But how? Use your brain, use your intelligence.
Koristi mozak, koristi inteligenciju.
That's how we can do something in practice. We have to use our intelligence.
Tako možemo primijeniti nešto u praksi, tako da koristimo vlastitu inteligenciju.
But then we want to be humble.
Ali istovremeno želimo biti ponizni.
Guru Maharaj, I don't have any intelligence.
Guru Maharaj, ja nemam inteligenciju.
All of a sudden we are very humble.
Odjednom smo jako ponizni.
Krishna has given us so much intelligence.
Krishna nam je dao toliko puno inteligencije.
When it comes to sanskritification,
a kada dođe do čudnog uživanja,
our intelligence is boiling over.
Inteligencija nam prekipi.
Coming out of the ears.
I curi nam iz ušiju, iz nosa.
When it comes to Krishna consciousness,
a kada dođe do svjesnosti Krišne,
Guru Maharaj, I have no intelligence.
Guru Maharaj, ja nemam ništa inteligencije.
Krishna has given too much intelligence.
Krishna ti je dao previše inteligencije.
There's definitely something left for Krishna.
Nadamo se da je nešto ostalo za Krishnu.
We have to use it.
Moramo je koristiti.
Nobody wants to be called stupid.
Niko ne želi biti oslovljen kao glupan.
Then let us prove that we are not stupid.
Ali onda dokažimo da nismo glupi.
Prove it.
Dokaži.
Step forward, prove. Demonstrate, prove it that you have some intelligence.
Dokaži da imaš nešto inteligencije.
Here we have some problems.
Evo, ovdje imam neke probleme.
Solve it.
Riješi.
Prove your intelligence.
Dokaži svoju inteligenciju.
That's the challenge.
To je izazov.
So we stop here at this auspicious point.
Na ovoj povoljnoj točki ćemo stati.
Always have to look into the bright future.
Uvijek trebamo gledati u svijetlu budućnost. Optimizam.
Once I gave a whole seminar on optimism.
Jedne sam dao čitav seminar o optimizmu.
It's important.
To je važno.
Otherwise we cannot survive.
Inače ne možemo preživjeti.
We have to be optimistic.
Moramo biti optimistični.
One time Srila Prabhupada mentioned in one letter,
jednom je Srila Prabhupada spomenuo u pismu,
unless you're optimistic, you cannot become Krishna conscious.
Ako nisi optimističan, ne možeš postati svjestan Krišne.
We have to have it. It's difficult, I know.
Znam, to je teško.
But we must have optimism.
Ali moramo imati optimizam.
There will be a solution. There will be a solution.
Pa naći će se rješenje.
We will solve the problems.
Riješit ćemo probleme.
Everything will be brighter and brighter and brighter.
Sve će biti svjetlije i svjetlije i svjetlije.
And then we have to use our intelligence how to realize it.
Ali moramo koristiti vlastitu inteligenciju kako to ostvariti.
We have still 1 minute.
Još imamo 1 minutu.
We take advantage.
Iskoristit ću to.
The thing is, what I'm lacking nowadays in many devotees.
Ono što ja vidim da nedostaje mnogim baktama.
In so many different places.
U toliko različitih mjesta.
Is self-initiative.
Je samo inicijativa.
There's some kind of passive mood.
Imamo to neko pasivno raspoloženje.
The waiting mood.
Raspoloženje čekanja.
Let us wait.
Čekajmo.
And hopefully someone will come riding on a white horse.
I neko će valjda doći jašući na bijelom konju.
And save us.
I spasiti nas.
This passive nature.
Ta pasivna priroda.
Waiting.
Čekanje i čekanje.
There must be self-initiative.
Moramo posjedovati samo inicijativu.
And imagine in the old days.
Možete zamisliti da u starim danima
we were 5 devotees in the temple. In entire country, Germany, we had 5 devotees.
Bilo nas je 5 bakta u hramu, u čitavoj državi Njemačkoj bilo je nas 5 bakta.
We didn't know anything.
Ništa nismo znali.
We did not even have books in German language.
Nismo imali ni knjige na njemačkom.
It was one, anyway. So then the first book came out.
I onda je izišla prva knjiga.
Ishopanishad. So they just, our temple president, he just gave me one big bag filled with Ishupanishads.
Predsjednik hrama dao mi jednu veliku torbu punu Ishupanišadi.
I never went on Sankirtan.
Nikad nisam išao u Sankirtan.
Only Harinams.
Samo Harinam.
Nothing, I never distributed anything in my whole life.
Nikad ništa nisam podijelio u čitavom životu.
I had no idea how to do it.
Nisam imao pojma kako ću to napraviti.
I thought it was stopping people on the street. I cannot do this.
Mislio sam da ne mogu zaustaviti ljude na ulici.
Before Krishna consciousness, we were playing the guitar.
Prije svjesnosti Krishna svirali smo gitaru.
Peacefully.
Mirno.
Accompanied by others who were playing other instruments.
U društvu drugih koji su svirali druge instrumente.
At the bonfire.
Okolo krijesta.
And then they told me, now you go on the street and distribute.
I onda mi kažu, van na ulicu i dijeli knjige.
And they sent me to another city in Germany.
I poslali su me u drugi grad u Njemačkoj.
You distribute in Bremen, another city.
Ti dijeli u tom drugom gradu, Bremenu.
far away from Hamburg.
daleko od Hamburga.
And I asked, how do I get there?
I pitao sam kako ću doći tamo.
And then figure it out.
Evo, snađi se.
So I was with my dhoti bag full of the Ishopanishads. I went to the highway.
I bio sam u Dotiju i s tobom punom Išopanišada i otišao sam na autoput.
And then I started hitchhiking.
I počeo sam autostopirati.
Nobody stopped.
Ali niko nije stao.
Some strange guy with bed sheets,
Neki čudak u plahtama,
shaved head.
obrijane glave.
Nobody. So it started raining.
Onda je počelo kišiti
I just tolerated.
i tolerirao sam.
Completely drenched with water.
Potpuno namočen.
Waiting. It became dark.
I onda se smračilo.
What should I do, Krishna? What should I do?
Šta da napravim, Krišna, šta da napravim?
And then finally, one Japanese guy, I remember, he was a Japanese man, he stopped.
I onda sjećam, jedan Japanac mi stane.
And he had this kind of sports car.
Imao je sportsku auto.
He opened the door.
Otvorio vrata.
I went inside.
Ušao sam unutra.
And I just mentioned, Bremen, the other city.
I samo sam spomenuo taj drugi grad, Bremen.
Just took off.
I samo je poletio.
He didn't say one word the whole drive.
Nije rekao nijednu riječ čitavim putem.
Then we arrived.
I onda smo stigli,
Opened the door.
otvorio sam vrata,
I went out.
izišli na vani.
And then where to go?
A gdje sad?
It was like midnight.
Bilo je oko ponoći.
Where should I go now?
Gdje sad da idem?
So I was just wandering in the street
Samo sam lutao
at
ulicama.
midnight.
U ponoć.
Maybe there's some guest house somewhere.
Možda ima
I didn't have any money.
neki smještaj, nisam imao ništa
No
novaca.
money, nothing. There's a little bag with dhoti inside and toothbrush.
Samo torbica u kojoj je bio još jedan doti i četkice za
So
zub.
then I went to the youth hostel, you call it youth hostel.
I onda sam otišao u hostel za mlade.
Being together in one room, being together with many young people.
U jednoj si sobi smješten za puno mladih ljudi.
So when I entered, they woke up and who's this?
Kad sam ušao, svi se probudili, koji je ovo?
I'm from Hare Krishna.
Ja sam iz Hare
Or
Krishna.
whatever, and then slept.
Šta god.
Pulled the blanket over their head.
Ja samo su se pokrili dekama.
So next morning I got up early, of course,
Sljedeće jutro sam se naravno ustao rano.
offering my prasadam, bang, 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 bang.
Nudio prasada.
What is this now?
Šta je sad ovo?
Then I started preaching.
Ja sam počeo propovedati.
This is called self-initiative.
To se zove samo inicijativa.
Not this waiting. Not the waiting, this waiting move.
Ne
Waiting.
čekati.
So if we see some problems,
Ako vidimo neke probleme,
take the self-initiative
prihvatite se samo inicijative
and find out practical ways to solve them.
i nađite praktične načine kako da ih se riješi.
That is not too much to ask for.
Nadam se da ne tražim puno od vas.
You don't have to go hitchhiking.
Ne morate ići autostopirati.
Just find out some practical means to solve these problems.
Samo nađite neke praktične načine za riješiti ove probleme.
We are over time. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Srila Prabhupada ki.